Good afternoon, this is Lindsay. It is Saturday, July 12, 2025, and I just wanted to do a video quickly about my, being exploited, I guess, by narcissistic individuals who clearly have had underlying motives and intentions with me the whole time. And, it's a good thing. I'm glad that I was able to end that situation shit with that fucking asshole, narcissist, jackass, opportunist, liar, fucking pervert, sex addict, cheapskate shit, liar. And I could go on and on about the fucking shit that motherfucker did to me. I swear to God, I will never, after going through all that abuse and allowing that motherfucker to come back into my life because of his fucking pressure and hoovering in a coercive abuse, I swear to God, I will never, ever probably be able to have anybody in my house again. It's going to be a long, long time before I trust anybody because of the abuse, the psychological abuse and the aftermath of trying to heal from that fucked up shit that fucking demon, infested motherfucking demon shit fuck brought into my house, in my space, right? And no matter how much you try to educate these people about soul ties and demonic possession, he would laugh at me and mocking me about my belief in God, about the fact that I have anything and everything about me as an individual, my spirituality, my path. He had to mock it and make sure that he comes back to fucking destroy it. And these people truly, I know that I sound excited because I'm talking so fast, but I swear to God, I never in my life have experienced such weird abuse. And it's clear that these people are doing this asshole creep was doing some kind of black magic satanic crap on me. I know that he was, and it's very scary to know that somebody's been doing that to you. And I don't know who the fuck he's involved with, how many other people are involved with this stuff against me, but I tell you, I am not, I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating at all. I know that, and thanks to that asshole interfering with every aspect of my life, trying to fucking exploit me financially, emotionally, physically, getting involved with everything I do to try to take over and control my life, including, for example, the neighbors. Like this, I have people watching me all over the neighborhood. They all say that I'm crazy, right? Because I am a targeted individual, and I talk about gang stalking, and I expose corruption, and I expose their fucking drug trafficking, pervert, pimpering shit that was going on next door with that drug dealing shit. So they all hate me. Everybody in this neighborhood, since most of them are involved with that kind of shit, they all hate me. They want me dead. They're rude to me. I don't feel safe here. I don't want to be here at all. But really, until I get, right now, this is where I am. But eventually, I hope to get out of this horrible situation and out of this neighborhood, hopefully out of the city altogether, because I don't want to be anywhere in this vicinity. I really don't. It's in having to remember all the toxicity of what that asshole did inside my house. Like, when they leave marks, they have to make sure they touch everything. They have to make sure they touch all your furniture, screw up your fucking furniture, touch your everything that you use on a daily basis. They want to make sure that they taint it. So now, once again, I have to get rid of anything and everything that motherfucker ever touched, because that's the only way that you can move on. I mean, I can move on, but it's like you have all these toxic triggers, right? Because they touch everything. They want to take a bath. They want to touch your sheets. They want to get the fuck away from me, motherfucker. I don't want you fucking touching my towels, my sheets, my bed, anything. It's sick because this guy clearly hides secrets about, number one, that he's gay, closeted gay, bisexual, so he's angry about that. He's also a liar and a cheater. I believe like I said, he got that girl pregnant, some fucking cunt bitch from his fucking job, some little fucking spoiled bitch. I'm sorry, but I can't stand the way he was already trying to triangulate me with so many women from the very beginning. Makes me so sick to my stomach. And then that motherfucker had the audacity, one of the last times he was here, hoovering me, harassing me, basically pushing his way into my house. Then he goes into that room where I keep those paintings, where I keep a lot of my paintings, and he starts fucking taking pictures of stuff and going through all my stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. What are you doing? Let me take a picture of it. Let me contact my friend Anna, whatever, to see if she wants to buy any for her art gallery. I'm like, no. She doesn't like that kind of art, Lewis. Leave me the fuck alone. Stop doing that. You're invading my privacy. Don't do that. Oh, let me do it. So he starts taking pictures of my paintings and texting up to some fucking bitch named Anna, his other fuck buddy. Some bitch that owns a fucking art gallery. Some girlfriend that he's fucking as well because she has money and status. So he's fucking her and using her. He's got all these fucking women in his phone. They won't, number one, a narcissist will never let you see their fucking phone, and you wonder why that is? Because it's filled with so much shit. He threw a fit when I asked him once if I could see his phone. And whenever they get that angry, you know they're hiding something. And I already know that this asshole's so full of shit. But so he starts texting her in that room where all my paintings are stored, the same room where that man committed suicide, that spare bedroom. And so he starts taking pictures of my paintings and sending them to this Anna lady, whatever the fuck her name is. And then he's like, oh, well, and she responds, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really sad right now. I just lost a bunch of friends in the Kerrville flooding. Okay, and he was doing that right in that room. This was about a week and a half ago, that fucking asshole, right when that flooding in Kerrville happened, right around whatever. Then he shows up and hoovering me, blocking me in my fucking driveway, not letting me leave. You know, these people are demon possessed, okay? Narcissistic people are demons. And then they project and say that you're crazy and mentally ill, when in fact, no, this guy is so fucking filled with demons. I've never seen anything like it. I have met and been around a lot of evil people throughout my life, including family members. I know what narcissistic abuse is all about, but I have never experienced such fucking gaslighting and backstabbing and lying to my face and taunting me, tormenting me, mocking me, exploiting me, using me. I've never, ever, and I've had my share of relationships. So this was a fake fucking thing from the beginning, but I swear I've never been treated so terribly by anybody or so fucking humiliated by anybody in my life. None of these men ever did any of that to me, who I've been with in the past, and not even close to what this asshole has done to me. And I think back, I'm like, my God, who the fuck, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you projecting? Ever since I've known him, why is he doing that to me? Why am I his target? Why did he find me on that stupid dating site, Plenty of Fish, and starts targeting me and abusing me? Like, lesson learned, motherfucker. I am who I am. I know who I am. I have my own path to follow. You get the fuck away. Don't ever come back to my fucking house again. Don't come into my life and leave me the fuck alone. And you try to explain. I used to when he would bother me with all these fucking text messages, he'd say, please text me, let me he would do that because they want to use everything you say against you at some point, right? When something goes wrong or you argue with them, they save everything on a text message so that they can use that against you at some point whenever their narcissistic plan falls through, or their business plan or whatever the fuck it is that they're doing fails. So they have all that to use against you at some point. And I remember he would say things like, I'm going to remember this, or I've got this stuff saved. Because I would get mad at him in text messages and say, just leave me alone. I already know what you're about. You're a narcissist. You're a liar. You're a sex addict. You're an alcoholic, and you're a player, and you're a womanizer, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't even want to, just go away. Leave me alone. And he wouldn't accept it. He's like, no, I can't accept that. I need you. I have to have you in my life. I'm like, no. The thing with these assholes is they feel entitled to you like you're their property. And even if they don't want to get closer to you, or that they don't take you seriously as a relationship, they still want to keep you around in their fucked up triangulation circle shit. They can't let go of their exes. And I'm not even an ex. Thank God I'm not even considered to be that with this fucking liar, waste of my fucking time asshole. But they just lead you on, future fake, lie to you, exploit you, and use you for whatever it is. This motherfucker just used me because he wanted his fucking ugly fucking dick sucked. And I think he's got, don't even get me started, but I think he's probably got some kind of STD. I don't know, but I just feel the guy makes me sick. Every time he's around me, I feel sick for days. I start feeling nauseated. I feel like just gross, like nasty, like, you know, like I have to restart all over again. Every time he goes away and comes back every few weeks when he's a fucking other women and doing all the shit that he does, drinking, he brings a flask of alcohol and he's a fucking alcoholic. Okay, he's a major alcoholic and he's in denial about that. He's in denial about so many things. And I'm tired. I'm not going to let this person, I'm not going to be used as his goddamn therapist anymore. I'm sick and fucking tired of being his unpaid therapist. And then his dragging all his fucking problems in my life with his mother and his family. It's like, you know what? You've got a lot of fucking shit. And you know what? Stay away from me. Go find somebody who can handle that kind of fucking Mexican soap opera drama, because I really can't. I can't deal with this shit anymore. I've got my own life and my own problems, but I don't go around looking for scapegoats. I just talk about it in videos because it helps me. My own therapeutic way is talking about it in a video or talking to the fucking wall, talking to anything, or maybe a friend or whatever. But that's it. That's how I deal with my trauma and my pain and my anger, is by talking about it. Whereas these people have so much built up animosity and anger and insecurities that they project it onto whoever they are with, and then they get mad at you and blame you for everything that's going wrong in their life. Okay? He's having bad times at work and he blames me. He's not making good sales, so it's my fault. Right? I get punished for that. It's not my fucking fault. I don't work at fucking goddamn Saks Fifth Avenue, which is a fucking front company. A lot like all these other goddamn fucking companies run by Jews. Pardon me, they're all fucking fronts for counterfeit money laundering. Everybody fucking knows that. Saks Fifth Avenue and amongst many others. A front. It's a fucking front company. I can fucking bet you right now about that. I know about this stuff. I've studied criminal justice and I researched this stuff a long time ago. There's a lot of front companies that are posing as department stores and whatever. Look into these places, especially if they're owned by Jews from New York. The fucking Khazarian mafia's got their goddamn nose and everything. So it's no secret. I mean, does he think I'm that dumb? I've known about this shit for years. My mother was married to that fucking Bob Sussman, whose family ran some goddamn Jewish department store. He's a fucking criminal, a fucking asshole criminal Jew. So I've been around these goddamn people my entire life. Jews are always involved with petty crime and white collar crime and money laundering and sex trafficking and human trafficking and exploiting people for profit. That's what they do. They're notorious for doing that, and all you have to do is do a little bit of research and type in some keywords on your computer, and then you'll find out that I'm talking the truth. Okay, I don't care if you fucking hate me. Call me a bigot, call me a anti-Semite. I'm speaking the truth. Even the fucking Jews amongst themselves talk about this shit. So I don't give a fuck what the fuck you think I am, because it's the fucking truth, you know? So I'm crazy, I'm mentally ill, I'm borderline, I'm schizophrenic because I don't believe in the fucking mainstream news or the media. I don't care what these people think about me. That's why I stay to myself. And I'm very careful now about who the fuck I talk to, let alone let in my house. And that asshole is not coming anywhere near my house, ever again. Okay? I'm not your fucking business contract, you dumb fuck. I never signed a fucking contract with you, ever. Or some kind of covenant. So fuck off, go find your other victims and have fun with the bitch you got pregnant. I hope y'all have a nice fucking demon child to bring into this fucking world. But you gotta deal with that shit and leave me the fuck out of it. You know, just leave me alone. But he had to make sure that he got the neighbors involved before one last final goodbye, you know, of the fucking smear campaign and hoovering attempt, is to make sure that he tells the neighbors that I'm crazy, that I need help, and that, you know, to keep an eye on me, right? Like I don't know how to think for myself, like I don't know how to call a yard man. I can do things myself. These people have helped me cut the yard a few times, and I have given them some money. So he starts paying them. It's like, stay the fuck out of my business, motherfucker. He wants to interfere. He tried to interfere with every aspect of my life. Every fucking thing about me, my personality, It's very creepy because you lose your sense of identity. They steal your identity and they try to mirror you, and they try to just take bits and pieces of your personality to exploit you, and then come back later to punish you when they don't get their fucking way with you. Because these people, if you are involved with somebody who is a somatic narcissist or a covert malignant narcissist, and you're married to that man or woman, or you're in a relationship with them, God forbid if you have kids with them, then be careful. These people don't change. They refuse to acknowledge that they have a problem, and they don't ever do any soul searching or introspection. They don't. They're in denial. They think that they're perfect. They think that everybody else is a problem. They refuse to admit that they have any problems, because it's everything with them is about status and image, about showing off, and about, I'm taller than you, I'm better than you, I'm stronger. It's always a competition with these assholes. Everything is a competition. And the minute you feel good about yourself, they come back around to fucking drag you down because they're envious. They're envious of anybody who sees through their bullshit, who can think for themselves and has their own personality and has their own agenda. They can't stand that because they need to have control over people. And people who need to have power and control over other people, those people those people have problems. Those people are narcissistic people who have severe issues. And I try to stay the hell away from those kinds of people, because all they do, and I know because I've been around these people my entire life, all they do is come into your life. They find you, they target you because they're sent by devil, they're sent by the demons, and they come into your life, they target you, they screw you up, they try to diminish you as an individual, they try to tear apart your everything about you that makes you unique. They try to take it and fragment you into nothing, and to make sure that they just destroy you. They come to destroy. All I can say, that's not all I can say, but what I'm trying to say in layman's terms here, because it gets kind of complicated, some of the vernacular with this narcissistic stuff and this psychology, this abnormal psychology, is it really, they're here to destroy. That's it. They have an agenda, and I swear to God, I didn't know any about. It's spiritual warfare here. It's a spiritual battle that you're battling for your own soul. These people try to steal your soul, your identity, your life force, everything that makes you a unique person. They hate that in anything about you. They hate that, and they literally will kill you. They have diseases that they don't tell you about. They're sick, they're angry, they project everything, and they're satanic. They worship blood. They do dark spell. They do all kinds of weird shit that's generational in their family, like weird witch. Like this guy's got a lot of weird fucking black magic. I don't know what voodoo shit, but it's really creepy because he's a demon. He's never able to look at. He's a demon. I can see the demons in his eyes. He's very uncomfortable in his own skin, and it's just weird to have these kinds of people. When you observe them and spend time with them, it's shocking. You're like, I can't believe that this is really what this is. Is this real? And you almost think that you're imagining it. That how can this be? How can this be real? How can somebody behave like that and do this? How can this be possible? It's very strange. It's very creepy, and it's very real, because you'll notice that whenever you get entwined or entangled with these weirdos, creepy weirdos, that all kinds of bad stuff starts happening, or things in your tragedies around, all kinds of things, tragedies, people dying, people getting sick, you lose your finances, you lose your health. Things start happening that are inexplicable. And you'll look back at the patterns, and you'll realize that things like that start happening whenever you allow that person into whenever they violated your boundaries. So this is real, and I know that this is hard for people to really understand what I'm talking about, because a lot of people haven't experienced this kind of weird thing, but it's real. It is real. And if you want to live, I suggest, if you want to survive, because you better get rid of these people and literally if you're able to get out of town and relocate. Look, that's the best thing to do sometimes, because they've got covenants of people surrounding you that are all involved with the flying monkeys that have been told things about you, and they're all involved. Like with me, this motherfucker, from the minute they met you, they're already doing like a smear campaign. And so these people, I've got so many people against me who I have no idea who these people are, but they've all been told fabricated lies about me that are untrue by people who are in league with these narcissistic people. And so basically I have no credibility. And it's unfair because it ruins your life. And so I at least I have discernment, okay? At least I believe in God, and at least I believe in myself and the ability to discern. So that much I have going on. But as far as all these people trying to distract me and throw me off my path and torture me psychologically via gang stalking and harassment and all the gaslighting, I've survived a lot. I really have, and I'm here to tell you that this is it is spiritual warfare. This is not a joke. I'm speaking directly from my own experiences, and I never would have imagined 10 years ago that this is what would happen to me. I never thought that it would get to this point ever. Just because the more you expose these people, the more you expose their crimes and figure out what they're about and who they're involved with, the more they come back to punish you and destroy you. And whenever they come back, and I have to keep in mind for myself, because they want you to lose your mind. They want you to lose your memory. Don't forget. Don't forget what they've done to you. When you know what they've done, don't forget that. They want to erase your memory. But don't. Just remember that every time they come back around to try to hoover you or sweet talk you or do some bullshit to try to woozy their way back or meander their way back into your life, try to stop and remember. And I'll tell you, for example, I would sit there in the fucking driveway and argue with this asshole saying, get out of here, go away, move your car, I'm fine, leave me alone, I want to be alone. And he would refuse. That's called coercive abuse right there. He wouldn't get the fuck out of my driveway many a times. So this is abuse. This is a form of and he's a big fucking bully, a big guy. So they try to intimidate. They use their stature to try to bully and intimidate women or people who are not as tall. And he's always making fun of short people. He hates white. Number one, he can't stand Caucasian people. He acts like he does, but deep down he fucking hates white people. He can't stand Caucasians because he has a real thing against white women, white blondes. He hates them. Deep down, he fucking hates them. He hates them because he was hurt by a girl that he was involved with, this woman who he met, who I guess probably taught him a good lesson, and she was probably real strong enough to not let him fuck with her anymore. And so after that, I think that he got so traumatized thinking that, wow, this girl really fucked me up because she has boundaries. This woman who he was with had boundaries. And that messed him up, so he has to find a new target, and I was his next fucking target to abuse. And I happened to be a blonde, shorter statured person, a natural dark blonde hair and light skin and light eyes, and so he had to take out all his fucking anger and frustrations that he was projecting that he had left over from that relationship onto me, because he was still was obsessed with that woman when he got involved with me. He was still obsessed with her, and I can see why. I'm that girl. A lot of men would be wanting chasing her. I can see why they would, But I'm just saying, I'm not going to put up with your fucking shit. I'm not your scapegoat, and sayonara to you, and good luck in your fucking future endeavors, but don't get me in the middle of all your fucked up shit, because I'm not your fucking punching bag, asshole. And I'm not going to take your fucking sexual abuse and exploitation. He acts like a fucking pervert, like some kind of goddamn Jewish porno addict involved with fucking Jerry Epstein or something. He's a pervert. And these people don't ever change. They're involved with so much shit that you would get disgusted if you knew the half of what they're involved with. I don't even want to fucking know. what he's in. I don't even want to know. It's a good thing I don't know the names of all his friends. It's a good thing I blocked him a long fucking time ago on Facebook and Instagram, because I don't fucking want to know. All I know is that he supposedly works at that fucking Saks Fifth Avenue, and he's a fucking liar narcissist. That's about all I need to know. Other than that, I don't give a shit. Now, if he ever fucking comes here again, I've already let the police know. The police don't take it seriously. They think I'm making this stuff up. So it's pretty much useless because the police are all involved with this kind of crap. So I'm kind of like, whatever, it's like it's just me against myself. I mean, it's me having to defend myself against this kind of abuse because he's got all the fuck. Now the neighbors think I'm crazy. They think it's just a drama show, which is not. They don't understand this kind of abuse. But at least I'm documenting this because this motherfucker had better. The final straw was that he asked me, I refused to give him I just told him that my phone was out of service, that I'm changing providers, because I'm not going to give him my fucking phone number ever again after changing it so many times. I refuse. I will not ever give him my phone number again. But he was like, well, how can I contact you? I said, I don't know. You've been coming over here and fucking leaving notes, haven't you? So you have to figure that out, but I don't want to, I don't give a shit. But anyway, he kept leaving me, he had left me these notes and whatnot on my door, and then he, for whatever stupid reason, once again, my fault, I gave him an email address, okay? And so then he kept fucking with me on email. Oh, I miss you, baby. All that crap that, they don't know how to have a real conversation. Everything is so superficial. They don't have any in-depth conversations with you. They are very shallow, superficial people. They're all about exterior. They don't know how to have an in-depth conversation about anything, especially spirituality. They just don't. They're shallow, empty vessels of nothing. And because I would try endlessly to have conversations about things, and this guy just doesn't fucking listen to anything. He doesn't have any interest in anything that I have about spirituality, nothing. It's all about himself, about money, about how much money he's making at his job and shit. It's like, God, you're so fucking stuck up, dude. It's like, it's making me sick. But that's how they are. Don't ever expect them to change, because they refuse to admit, they think they're perfect. And so anyway, I'd given him my email, and now, you know what, I fucking had to delete that whole account. I was like, you know what, I just deleted the whole account because I don't even want him to have my fucking email address. I deleted the account, and so now he can't access me, and he's not gonna, if he ever fucking tries to come to my house again, I will not let him in my house, and I sure as a fuck am not gonna let him come inside my house. If he hoovers me, I'm calling the fucking police right in front of him to let him know I'm calling 911. Get your fucking ass out of here and get the fuck away from me. And if he ever try, I don't think he will this time, because I think he understands that I'm not fucking around. But if he does, I'm calling the police. I'm gonna do a fucking police report, and that's it. Don't get involved with my fucking yard. Don't try to take shit from my fucking shed, the barn that he wants for his mother to garage, all this bullshit. Dude, given you enough shit. Leave me alone. I've given him enough stuff. He takes. Get the fuck away, and don't. Thank God I haven't heard from him now in a few days, and I don't want to, and I hope to not. I hope that he just fucking disappears, or that I get the fuck out of this city once and for all, because I've had enough of sacrificing my health, my priorities, for some fucking low-life scum, asshole, liar, sex addict, jackass who treated me like fucking doormat. So that's that, and I just had to talk about it because I'm still enduring this weird smear campaign punishing shit that this motherfucker and other people involved with this goddamn probate thing are doing to me. You think I'm so dumb to not see this shit? With their let them do it. I'm the one who's getting entertained now, just watching these idiots do their stupid shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but I'm not fazed. I just talk about it. But I see what they're doing. It just is like, keep it up, because at the end of the day, it's only making these people look like fools who have to go out of their way to do a smear campaign and gang stalk somebody who's innocent. Because I talk, and I have a mouth, and I expose. But let them hate. I don't care. I will continue to speak the truth and be myself, and that's it.